Customer experience, this is part 3 of 4, and so you want to be a guide. You made it through the first part, you made it through the second part, and you're like, hey, I'm still on board. Now let's head to the part that you are worried about, that I'm telling you really shouldn't be worried about. Why am I telling you that? Let's start dipping into that. Now, obviously, you're effectively successful at what you're doing as far as a hobby, whether it's hunting or fishing. You're doing well, you're good at it, and now you want to bring other people into it. That's just it, other people. How well do you know your job well? How well do you know people? The different attitudes, the different personas that they're bringing in, the different ways that an individual or personality handles situations, the way you talk. A lot of things are going to start really snowballing in, and ultimately your goal is to create an environment that is going to allow you to be successful and allow for continued growth of your business. You want repeat clients. I'll repeat that. You want repeat clients. Those are what ultimately pays your bills in the end of the year, are repeat clients. How do you get those repeat clients? That's what we're going to start discussing, as well as the what about a bad experience, because that is what 99% of you people watching this video are afraid of. The bad experience that's going to ruin your hobby for you. It shouldn't. So let's dive into that, and we'll hit that in context in a little while. So you're dealing with people. Now let me tell you right now, if you are an individual that has had history or have been in the food service industry or has been in retail, and you thrived and did well inside of those retail and those service industry positions, this part is going to be a cakewalk for you. Straightforward, absolute cakewalk. Doesn't mean you're not going to have a tough day here and there. I'd say out of 140 trips to 150 trips out of the year, you're probably going to have maybe 10 tough days. I'd say that'd be about right. Maybe about 10 tough days. Give or take a little. Some years is less. Some years you might have a couple more than that, but if you do, it's not much. So if you really figure that out percentage-wise, that's less than 10%. That means 9 out of 10 trips that you're doing are super successful. So you can't tell me that in your regular job you don't have tough days. 1 out of every 10, shoot, you probably have more, because you hopefully don't have that poor attitude at your workplace. If you have that poor attitude at your workplace, there's a good chance that could carry over into your business. And what is your business doing? You're obviously trying to create that growth. How are you creating that growth? You're creating that growth by selling yourself. What is your brand? That's what this comes down to. What are you selling, and what is your brand? You are selling yourself. You are selling the experience that you can provide. How are you going to open up that door for more poor results or more poor experiences and not create as much opportunity for continued growth as possible? You're going to do that by selling crap. Do not sell an experience that you can't consistently meet. That should be common sense business strategy. But, operative word again, just like the last video, but it's not. If you are going to go out and sell trophy fish every single trip, you are going to have some really long days. If you are the guy that says, hey, you know what, I want to be the star, take a look at me, I'm gonna get on Costa's website or Columbia's website. These are partners that I work with. Do you see me on their website? No, absolutely not. Why? I am not selling that kind of, if I get on there, that's a whole different matter, or interesting. It'd be interesting how I got there. I don't need to be the face of a brand. I don't want to be in their magazines. I don't want to be on their advertisements on their website, stuff like that. That is not the brand that I'm trying to sell, because when I start selling that kind of brand, I'm most likely selling something that I cannot consistently perform. Trophy fishing is extremely hard to and really unlikely to be successful day in and day out. There are guides that do that and strive on it. They make their living on that. Good for them. That's something that I can't do. And if that's you and you can do it, dude, kudos to you, man. I'm out here every day and I'm telling you right now, I won't want to carry that kind of stress into my business. That stress that I created for my business might cause me to burn out. Think about that. You might be setting yourself up to take on clients that are tougher. And the tough part about dealing with those clients is those clients are coming in with a certain set of expectations, and their skill set is not going to match that expectation. When those two things collide, you have what I would refer to as a wake. It's going to explode. It's not going to go well. You're going to have a tough day. By doing that, you're going to have more tough days than not. So have a realization of what are you setting your expectations for? What kind of brand are you selling? How are you advertising? Is every one of your clients holding giant pitcher or giant fish in their pitchers? Or are you selling an experience where you've got a family that's holding a few fish, or maybe a net full of fish? Maybe you're selling a sunset. Maybe there's a whole different variety of things you can do in the advertising part of your business to show and advertise what kind of experience are you selling. I sell personally, up in this area, I sell a multitude of experiences. That's what I focus on. I focus on providing an experience for families and youth. Maybe it's not just fishing. I'm also a hiking guide. I also provide tours of our national park up here. That's what I sell. I do sell fishing by all means. I love fishing. That's what got me into this whole thing. But I sell more than that. You need to figure out what you're going to do. Are you a multi-species guide? Do you like a certain species more than others? Start targeting that. Do you fish multiple lakes? Start pushing a certain lake that you like fishing the best. Maybe one lake's good one month and the other one's good the next month. When you get clients that are calling you and trying to book, have those conversations with them ahead of time. Screen your phone calls. I screen my phone calls. I talk to my clients on the phone. I can usually tell within the first 45 seconds whether or not we are a good fit. And I'm going to tell you, 100% honest, straightforward. I'll talk to them for 45 seconds to a minute. If I don't feel like we're going to be a good fit, dead serious, I tell them, you know what? I don't think we're right for each other, but you know who is? You should probably call this guy down the road. I think he'd be a better fit for you. I can't guarantee it, but I just know that what you're looking for, I cannot supply. I have had that conversation. You need to have that conversation. Pull up your pants, your big boy or big girl pants. There's a lot of female guides that are out here. Some of the better female fishermen, in all honesty, or they do a lot better than most of the guys. So anyway, back to focusing here. You need to be and do a reality check on yourself, understanding what you're selling. Now let's talk about the bad experiences that you're going to encounter, because you're going to have a couple for sure. If you screen your phone calls, a lot of those are going to be mitigated. They're going to be right out of there. In the beginning, you don't have that choice. It's going to take you about 3 years of working in this industry before you really start building up a book of repeat clients. Doesn't mean you might not have a lot, but you're going to start having some repeats, and then more and more and more are going to start snowballing on. And then you can get, like I said, alluded to, I think in the last video, I've been very blessed this year here. I barely had to do any advertising. Very, very little. And everything came in on referrals. Why? Because of the experience I'm selling. Now, those tough clients that come in, they're going to see, or tougher days, they're going to see how hard you're working. If you are working your tail off, they will recognize it. They might not be happy with the outcome of the day, but they aren't going to pin that on you. They won't. Very, very rare. They're going to look at you and be like, I wish we'd have did a little bit better day, but obviously the fish weren't cooperating. It's a very real thing. 10 trips a year, roughly 8% would be my estimated guess. 8% of your trips out of the year are probably going to be tougher days. You work your tail off. You jump spot to spot. You sit in one spot all day, pitch a bobber, and just sit there and don't get bit all darn day. Oh man, you are going to probably have a raving Google review or TripAdvisor or Facebook, whatever you're on. You will not have a repeat client. Plain and simple. So they see how hard you work. So on those tougher days, just work. Work your tail off. You're exhausted by the end. They see you are upset. They see you're frustrated. You need to keep your composure. You need to operate in what I would refer to as self-denial. When you have that client that really pushes your buttons, this goes with the tough clients too, which I've had a few. One of them's actually been a repeat. He books he spends almost $3,000 a year with me. So the first trip we ever went out on, we went and targeted a specific kind of trophy fish. I told him only expect a few bites a day. A few bites. That's it. And we weren't chasing muskies, but we were chasing giant fish. So we went after them. We had 2 on in the first 4 hours, and we dumped both of them. He physically was not able to bring the fish in. He got upset with me. This is a long story short. He got upset with me. I did not practice self-denial. I picked up a rod, started casting. I stuck 3 fish. There's 2 smaller ones in the first few minutes, and then I pitched back behind the boat, and I had a nice one on. It wasn't. Some people refer to it as a trophy. Not for myself, and that's a great conversation. I'll talk about that here in a second too. So anyway, I get this on, I hand him the rod, he dumps that one, and then he gets even more mad. Was that the right answer for me to do it? Absolutely was not. Him and I had a discussion about it afterwards, and I explained to him, I said, you know what? I'm doing everything I can. We've had multiple on. How about we do a change of pace? He was cool with that. We went and changed the pace, rebonded, reestablished a relationship. Turned out to be he's paid a lot of my bills through the last few years. Why? Because I was able to recognize my fault and not having self-denial, humbling myself, and then apologizing and saying, let's change gears and figure out a solution. Let's put you in a situation where you can be successful. How you handle those tough clients is on you. If you go in and you get a little, for a lack of a better term, a little butt hurt because somebody yelled at you and you want to quit guiding or it ruined fishing for you, man, you weren't cut out for this cloth to start with. Stay at your regular full-time job. That shouldn't be what impacts your decision on being a guide. You have tough days at your work now. How are you letting a couple tough experiences with clients impact your decision in that aspect? You just don't lose the love of your hobby that fast. And if you did, off of one experience or even 2 experiences, I'd love to hear about it because it'd be really interesting. It'd have to be pretty darn bad. Now, a trophy fish, what's a trophy fish to a person? It's whatever they think it is. If I have somebody that catches 18-inch smallmouth bass, to me that is not big at all. Not even close. I want to get rid of that in a tournament. I don't even want to weigh that in. Some people, that's huge. That's a trophy. What about a 36-inch or 37-inch pike? That's a trophy to them. A 9-inch bluegill, a 13-inch crappie. You know, these are all trophies to some people. To me, they're not even remotely close. So understand your clients are coming in with a little different expectations in that aspect. If they truly have a trophy on, you're going to react. They'll know it. They'll see it. But don't sell them short. Don't ever sell them short because you're gonna dishearten them. So last thing I really want to talk about is on those tougher trips, you're obviously love the resource, sell the resource. Should know the history on the lake. You should know biology as far as the fish themselves. Go through and teach people things. If you're having a slow day, people love to learn. That's something that I love that I'm very fortunate that I'm a teacher. So teaching to me comes quite easy, and that's one of the things that I brand myself with. That's what I sell. relationships that you develop out of this are unbelievable as well. You're going to find yourself maybe even getting Christmas cards or phone calls. There's a few that I have that I stay in touch with on social media quite often, follow their stuff. I'll make comments and see how they're doing. I've got one client that's been with me, Dave. I'll give you a shout out, buddy. I don't even know how many times Dave and I have fished together over the last couple of years, where if I'm even remotely believe I'm close to his area, I'm calling him up to say, hey buddy, I'm coming through, where you at? I'd love to swing in and grab dinner with you. I'll go out of my way just to see him and hang out with him, because he's a great guy. So the other aspect of the relationship wise is you go in, and how I go in on every one of my trips, dead serious on this, I go in with a mindset that this individual or this family has been saving their money the entire year to spend one day with me. Their whole entire savings to spend one day with me. If you go in with that kind of mindset, and you go in with that kind of strategy, you're going to provide an experience to them that is the best you can possibly do. And with that also being said, sometimes people book just to have an ear to hear. You don't know whether this person's going to be around in 2 months. I've had people that have come in my boat that have had cancer, and I didn't find out until the end of the trip that they only had a couple months to live, and they're choosing to spend one of their last days of their life with me on the water. What kind of experience did you provide that day prior to knowing that? Did you give it all? Did you provide that experience? Were you that listening ear? I've got one lady who she books with me multiple times a year, usually 3 to 4 trips. And the only thing she wants to do is just get stuff off of her chest, talk. She feels like she's safe in that boat and can tell me anything, and she can. Absolutely, that's what I'm there for. And when she asks my opinion, I'll give her some feedback. She just wants somebody to listen. So, what kind of experience are you going to provide? It's going to be on you. But if you let 10, 11, 12 trips ruin your entire hobby, man, you got some pretty soft skin. Burnout's real. That's true. We're going to talk about that next. It's something I fight every single year. And I'm going to tell you how I overcome that burnout, especially working as hard as we are. So thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you next week.